Daniel Marks coming to you from the Sage Public Library. Welcome to the Marks for Life podcast with your hosts, Jimmy, CJ, Jared, and Joe, the Four Horsemen of Wrestling Podcast. Four casuals turned Marks wrestling fans to give you a direct line to all things in the squared circle. We pull no punches, we hit hard, and we will slam you with all the info you need to know. So, ladies and gentlemen, marks of all ages, are you ready? Because...
You know what? You just made the list.
And welcome to this week's edition of Marks for Life Podcast. I am your rating defending undisputed Marks for Life Podcast predictions of the world. CJ, you
Not for long.
Shut up, heart fart.
Come.
I'm your co-host, Jimmy.
And I am your co-host, Joe, who is just, on wrestling overload right now.
All right, so before...
Is it even co-hosts? Is it co just two?
No,
No.
co-host is any...
Oh, okay.
It's multiple.
It's multiple.
It's been a question on my mind for a while, so all right.
Considering it's you, I'm surprised it took you this long to say something.
I had more things to talk about, Martha.
Well, before we get into, I guess, the good parts of, after last week's podcast, Joe, I believe you have a rant for us.
See, the problem with this rant is it would be me admitting that I actually watched most of Super Showdown yesterday. But when it hit 2 in the afternoon...
For the record, Jimmy and I have removed our mics so Joe could just let
so
it go.
that way he could just fully enjoy this great moment. Thank you.
When it hit 2 in the afternoon, an update came to my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, Super Showdown's on. I'm not doing anything else. Let's throw this thing on. So I'll start with the good points. Finn Balor versus Andrade, pretty good match.
Okay, just so I could interject, would you say that was the show of the night?
The match of the night was between that Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler put on a really good match as expected.
Okay, but between those two, would you say that Andrade Balor was the best one? Just out of curiosity.
And I think out of those two, the quality then severely dropped off after those two.
Okay, because on the Twitter poll that WWE posted for their promo for Super Showdown for that night, they had Goldberg Undertaker take on the most votes for that. So I had my own, just so we could jump right into it.
Well, Goldberg versus Undertaker was better than Undertaker versus Triple H for this reason. They didn't go long. They weren't supposed to go long. At least they kept it short and semi-sweet. Undertaker and Triple H had way much more time in the ring than they were supposed to. So, credit to you, WWE, for not making two 50-year-old men stand in there for 25 minutes when it was 101 degrees at ringside. There were multiple botches just from people being so slippery because they were sweating their asses off. The Battle Royal was a clunker because everyone's like, oh, let me pick you up. Oh, shit, you're sweaty. Hold on. Drop, up. Fuck. So, we go from there. The night starts off with Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin. Seth Rollins, obviously still selling the injuries from Monday Night Raw, wins via roll-up, with Baron Corbin getting into an argument with who's Nicholas's dad?
Give me a second. I'll look it up.
Your mic's over
John
there,
Cone?
Jimmy.
John Cone.
I'll look it up. Hold
Red
on.
Red shoes.
Just say red shoes.
Is it John Cone?
Sure, let's say Tim White.
It's not Tim White. It's not Tim White. It's definitely Anderson Earl Hebner.
Ah, damn it. Dave Hebner.
So he gets into an argument with John Cone, I'm just going to go with that, after berating him about not doing his job. Rollins rolls him up, whatever. So Corbin hits the end of days after the match, and I'm like, okay, here comes Brock. Sure enough, here comes Brock. Paul Heyman and his fat feet fall over the middle rope and drop the briefcase to distract Brock Lesnar long enough for Rollins to hit a low blow and destroy him with a steel chair, a.k.a. still no cash in.
Okay, just so I can interject really quickly. Yes, it is John Cone.
It is John Cone, all right. So, again, no cash in. For the third time in a row, we have teased a Brock Lesnar cash in, and we don't deliver. Of course, we didn't think he was going to cash in fucking Saudi Arabia because we would have known Seth Rollins was going to win. But no, there's still no cash in, and now Brock Lesnar still has the briefcase, even though Seth Rollins whooped his ass. So, okay, that's the first complaint. So, again, this week on Raw, you teased a Brock Lesnar cash in, and he did not deliver. And once again, you did it. He said Friday multiple times on Monday Night Raw, and he still didn't cash in. So now we still have to go with this needless storyline. They're just going to go for another boombox for another week when Brock's going to tease another cash in next week.
Paul, say something stupid.
Yeah. Brock's mystique of not knowing he had a year to cash it in
Is gone.
because now he looks dumb 3 straight weeks. Oh, I'm going to cash in. And then he gets beat up with the chair. So I'm like, okay.
Being a limp dick. He needs to be a strong dick.
Exactly. He should have just cashed in on Monday Night Raw. It would have been predictable, but at least like, okay, fine. Now we're going to mess everything up with Saudi Arabia. But now we have Stomping Grounds coming in a week, and God knows what the hell they're going to do with that. But, all right, so that match was that match. Like I said, the next 2 matches after that were actually good. Now, the next complaint I have is not really a complaint. It's just more of a question. I'm not really sure what the plan is with Lars Sullivan.
What plan?
Because not only did he, cut a god-awful promo on SmackDown this week, but he beat the Lucha House Party by DQ when they jumped in the ring on him. And they busted his mouth open. Fire the writer who wrote this match, because he wins by DQ and gets his mouth busted open by the fucking Lucha House Party. And he beats him down after the match, but whatever, he gets a cheap win. But the cream of the crop, the decision on top of all of the decisions from all this night, and I haven't even touched on fucking Mansoor winning the Battle Royal of all people. I figure you could have thrown it to Cesaro because you're in the middle of a mini push for him. It's a Battle Royal that means jack shit because no one talks about the Greatest Royal Rumble anymore, so at least give it to someone who, means a little bit but not really much. Have Titus O'Neil win it for all I care. At least have him have that redemption story from falling flat on his face at Greatest Royal Rumble last year. But the top decision, Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon, it was a better match than I expected. I'm like, okay, fine, this was an average match. But the finish, the finish, it's like take the Miz steel cage finish and up the frustration factor by 15. So Roman, Superman punches Shane McMahon. And if you read the results online, it looks like there was a massive ref bump. There wasn't. Shane McMahon gets Superman punched, stumbles backward. His hand hits Charles Robinson in the face, which blinds him for half a second. Claymore, Shane gets the pin and wins. And I just stand there like, what the fuck just happened? So let's not worry about all the statistics that go into this, as CJ pointed out to me yesterday. Roman Reigns is facing Drew McIntyre at Stomping Grounds in a week and a half. Why didn't Roman get the win? It's not like Roman's going to face Shane again anytime in the near future and get his win back.
May I interject with my statistics now?
Yeah, sure. I'm already annoyed as it is.
So Shane McMahon is undefeated at Saudi Arabia in singles action. Roman Reigns have never won a match in Saudi Arabia. The first singles pinfall loss Roman Reigns has taken was to Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon is therefore the best in the world. He is the guy.
So let's recap here.
And the McDog.
Roman beats leukemia. Handily beats Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. Squashes Elias, not once but twice. But a 49-year-old non-wrestler jumping around the room with a goddamn trophy is the one that beats him at Super Showdown.
Yes. And for everyone to know, the New Day was saying Shane him. Shane. They are cheering for Shane McMahon.
There is an award that the Wrestling Observer newsletter gives out every year, most overrated. Shane McMahon has that locked up, and we're in fucking June.
I think that might belong to Roman Reigns at this point.
Roman Reigns didn't get the win. Roman Reigns lost.
This is how they build Roman Reigns up. So Shane McMahon is the kryptonite to Roman Reigns.
Shane McMahon has gone from losing to AJ Styles at WrestleMania to beating not only The Miz twice in the span of a month, but beating Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns stays down from one Claymore, but 5 F5s can't keep him down.
You know what's sad? Stone Cold got more offense on Vince McMahon than Roman Reigns had against Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon is Vince McMahon 2.0. He gets wins.
You know who has a pinfall victory over Shane McMahon? Test. And last I checked, Roman Reigns getting pushed more than fucking Test. Rest in peace, Test. You're always an underrated big man, but still. Test was never a world champion. Roman Reigns is a multiple-time world champion.
And Shane McMahon is the best.
You know who else owns a pinfall win over Shane McMahon? X-Pac.
X-Pac's a Hall of Famer.
And Roman Reigns already damn sure sealed his case up. Apparently Shane's going to be one too. He's going to be Universal Champion by the end of the year at this rate.
He should be. He's undefeated at Saudi Arabia.
You know who else is undefeated at Saudi Arabia? Mansoor. We want to put him in the main event with Brock Lesnar now, are we?
So Mansoor is the protege of Shane McMahon.
Mansoor's actually the protege of Ali.
And that too.
Because they are just by God,
So
they're
does that mean
straight
Shane
up.
McMahon versus the New Day?
Yeah, and he's
Shane
probably going to
McMahon
beat all
versus
three.
Kofi Kingston. Yes.
No, he's going to beat all three members of the New Day at once. And he's going to win the WWE Championship that way. Because fuck it all, he's the best in the world. It used to be a joke, but the joke has gotten old.
Yeah, no.
But
If I could interject just for a quick second, I still love this joke. By the
You
way,
do love
I love this joke.
I
This
just love
joke is
pissing
amazing.
off Joe.
I know.
agree with everything he's saying,
If
but
Shane-
I love messing with Joe.
if Shane McMahon pins Brock Lesnar in the next month, you're all going to look at him like, you know what, you were right, this went too far. This has gone way too far. Again, I know this Saudi Arabia results means jack shit, and no one's going to remember it in the next few months.
Well, Brock Lesnar won the Universal Championship.
Well, it was vacant. Someone had to win it. It's just like the Raw Tag Team titles when Hardy
Lesnar
and
also
Wyatt
beat
won.
Roman Reigns for this in a steel cage for the Universal Championship.
Bullshit. You and I both know how that finish went. We're not going down this old road. Because Roman Reigns has now been screwed over by a faulty cage wall and a pimp slap to a referee. That's why Roman Reigns has lost now 2 matches in Saudi Arabia.
So Saudi Roman Reigns is kryptonite.
And surprisingly, they actually referenced that it was in Saudi Arabia in the opening hype package.
Oh, good for them.
But yeah, it was 101 degrees at ringside, and
Maybe, Roman Reigns, he sweated too much. He keeps wearing all that Kevlar, and he just couldn't put away the best in the world.
Baron Corbin wrestled in a damn dress shirt. At least Kevlar is sleeveless.
The Kevlar's heavy.
Shane McMahon didn't even wrestle in gear. He wrestles in like a jacket and track pants. That can't be that comfortable.
I don't know about that. It looks pretty comfortable.
Not when it's 101 degrees.
Maybe he didn't want to get, like, sunburnt.
It was at night. There's 6 hours ahead of us, CJ. It was 8 o'clock at night.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, if it's 100 degrees around the ring when it's dead nighttime, then WWE has, like, Goldberg got in the ring. Oh, I didn't even talk about that match yet. Goldberg got in the ring, and he was already glistening. I'm like, guys, this is not right. Oh, and Triple H and Randy Orton was a snooze fest, but you expected that going in. Orton got the win, surprisingly.
Actually, I heard that it actually wasn't that bad.
It picked up towards the end.
Yeah, I
Once
think...
they started going for like their big moves. But like in the beginning, it was like stare at each other for 5 minutes, shoulder tackle, stare at each other for 5 more minutes, shoulder tackle. But yeah, once it got towards the end, it picked up. But Undertaker Goldberg was. I really want to give them the benefit of the doubt
Don't.
because they were 50 and they were sweaty. And like I said, they made the right decision not having this go. This was like 6 or 7 minutes. This did not go that long. If you're including Undertaker's entrance, that was probably like 15 minutes. But so right out of the gate, Goldberg spews Undertaker twice. It looks pretty good. Undertaker kicks out. Like, all right, I'm interested. They keep going a little bit longer. About 30 seconds in, Undertaker's in the corner. Goldberg goes to the corner tackle. Undertaker dodge. Goldberg face first, steel post, boom, busted open. I'm like, oh, and now we're going downhill. Busted open. He's concussed, I think, and he just looks like he's out of it. And I knew he was out of it because he tried to jackhammer Undertaker and he dropped him on his fucking head. It turned into a Goldberg brain buster. Undertaker was like
That's
this close to
scary,
being
though.
crippled. I was like, oh my God. Undertaker did do old school flawlessly. First chokeslam, good. Then he tombstoned him. And Goldberg kicked out. And you just saw look at Undertaker's face like, I am not getting this son of a bitch up for that again. So he hit him with like a half-ass chokeslam and got the win. But it got real sloppy towards the end. Someone easily could have died. But you know what? Taker got himself ready because the last time he took a spear, it didn't end well. So he got himself into physical shape. It could have been a lot worse. But I think Goldberg, face planting into the steel post Dustin Rhodes style 30 seconds into the match really just fucked him the rest of the way.
Yeah, but Dustin Rhodes still had a 5-star match.
When Dustin Rhodes also bladed, Goldberg was completely on accident.
Yeah. The only stars Goldberg saw was...
It's like when he tried to do his entrance on Raw last year and headbutted the fucking door and busted himself open.
Yeah, and Paul
That was
Heyman.
2 years ago. Good. 3, 2.5? 2.5.
It
Good
was the
WrestleMania, what was it, 33?
That's when they had their match, so about
it
2016.
was the same one that I think Roman Reigns won against the Undertaker.
Yeah, 33, but that's still 26. That was still...
That's 2017.
Yeah, but he didn't, bust his head open until, Brock Lesnar the year prior. Because that's when their feud started. Because I remember...
I thought it was after that feud.
Oh, I thought it was before, because we were all making fun of it. Because it was stupid.
And see, that
I have to look this up.
that whole Goldberg-Brock Lesnar feud is an example how you can put a 50-year-old man in a high-profile feud and make it work. It's short, big moves, everyone throws each other around. Good thing, don't drop anyone on the goddamn head.
See, this is when we should have just had Goldberg versus Matt Riddle.
This is why we should have just had Undertaker versus anyone else, because we knew coming in this was going to be a train wreck. And I guess it was less of a train wreck than I thought. I think, honestly, if Goldberg didn't knock himself fucking silly in the first minute of the match, it might have actually been okay.
Which was better, Goldberg-Undertaker or Undertaker-Brock at 30? Because they both had concussed old men. So, let me ask you this.
But I feel like Undertaker was more capable of making Goldberg look decent. Like, Brock was just like, oh, shit, he's out of it. I'm just going to F5 him again. He's kicked out. Not dead enough. I got to F5 him again.
All right, and an update on the first time Goldberg busted himself open. It was January 2017.
Ah, okay. Son of a bitch, I was close.
So it was like when he was like trying to get the title from Kevin Owens around that area.
Royal Rumble.
No, Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Damn it, I was close.
Yeah, that Royal Rumble match was a clusterfuck and won by Randy Orton. So
Brace still should have won.
Saudi Arabia was a clunky show. What can you expect? But we're still in for like 8.5 more years of this. So we're just going to have to sit and take it. Maybe the Prince will be like, hey, this 50-year-old man, meaning Undertaker, just almost killed himself 2 years in a row to try and get this thing over. Maybe I should let him go bye-bye for a little while.
Do you think the Prince cares about men getting killed in his country?
Dude!
Sorry.
He's already requested 2 dead men to compete at the show. I need Yokozuna.
3 if we include Undertaker.
Oh my
Yeah, but
God.
Undertaker at least fulfilled that promise. If it's like, all right, so I want Ultimate Warrior versus Goldberg. Slight problem here. Let me sit you down here with a couple of drinks, and we're gonna
I
talk
actually
about
want to
this.
know if there was like actual recorded meetings of this, of like the Prince
I need-
asking for these people.
I need emails being like, I need Yokozuna at this show. And Vince
God,
being like,
I
what
wish
the
that someone
hell's
would
wrong
go
with
investigate this, because this
So,
would be such a
Who
story
was
to
the
talk
Ultimate Warrior replacement at the Greatest Royal Rumble?
Well, we had the other sumo wrestler place Yokozuna. I don't think there was Goldberg, an Ultimate Warrior replacement. Also, the Battle Royal kind of surprised me because there was rumors that they were going to use a lot of NXT names. They didn't. They used 205 Live to basically fill it out. And Akam's back. You guys didn't know that, but fucking Akam's back. He's back for the Battle Royal, so...
Yeah, it was AOP versus Raiders versus Heavy Machinery,
which is
right?
a good moment. But why are AOP not on any branded shows right now? It should be AOP versus Bryan and Rowan, not Heavy Machinery.
I would be okay with AOP versus Viking Raiders for the titles as soon as we figure out where the titles went.
We need to have Bryan and Rowan put over a dominant heel team
No.
as an AOP. Heavy Machinery does not need a tag team title reign
Why?
because they already have enough stakes and weights.
No, they don't.
Otis Dozovich does not need to be a tag team champion right now.
It's just Otis.
AOP needs something. Drake Maverick's over there handing out flyers for the 24/7 championship.
To be fair, this is the best we've seen of Drake Maverick ever.
To be fair, the 24/7 championship was gold over this weekend.
To be fair, the 24/7 championship has more weight to it than the Universal
Oh,
Championship.
obviously. Jinder Mahal rolled up R-Truth on the tarmac at the airport.
And then R-Truth pins him at the airport.
He pins him on the plate. I love the best thing. Truth's pulling back blankets of everyone. And then you just see Mojo Rawley like just cryptic, just staring off in the distance. And Truth's like, oh, sorry about that, man. He's like, let you do your thing.
No, the best was when Cesaro was getting a table out for Ricochet, and you see R-Truth is just sitting, laying on the table like, hey there.
He's like, let me get this table. Truth?
What?
Okay, just so we can update on. Oh my God. Okay, so we have Titus O'Neil, Robert Roode, R-Truth, Elias, R-Truth, Jinder Mahal, R-Truth, Elias, R-Truth, Jinder Mahal, R-Truth.
So R-Truth is a 4-time 24/7 champion.
Elias is a 2-time, and Jinder Mahal are both 2-time 24/7 champions.
Jinder Mahal is on his way to becoming a Grand Slam champion.
So I know it's a different country and everything, but it's kind of ironic that the Singh brothers were in the Battle Royal, but Jinder Mahal wasn't.
Maybe he was recovering from that grueling match against R-Truth.
He had like 3 matches in like a 24-hour window, and he had to change time zones. That's not
24.
7. It's not an easy thing, you know. They changed
Oh.
time zones.
Speaking of, like, we never talked about this. You know, Brock Lesnar has like a triple crown on him.
On who?
Him. He's won.
Well, who's him?
Brock Lesnar. He's won the Money in the Bank, King of the Ring, and Royal Rumble. Same as Edge
Oh,
and Sheamus.
okay.
Oh, that.
Oh, you mean okay?
That-
Not
yeah.
actual titles. Okay, you got me confused there for a second. Like,
He's never won anything but
who would
World
want to be his
Championship.
tag
yeah,
team
I know. That's
partner?
why I got confused.
Like, all right, so it's Brock Lesnar and this mop for the Raw Tag Team titles.
I want Boombox Brock and Dr. Thuganomics teaming up.
It's a 2K tag team that's just begging to run through a tag team division.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I would actually play the shit out of that.
So my rant's pretty much over, but I just want to say Universal title, joke. Roman Reigns, Shane McMahon, joke. Then there was 2 pretty competent matches. The Battle Royal was a fuck fest from the beginning, and Undertaker Goldberg was, well, we all knew what it was going to be, and, if you all watched it, then you shouldn't be surprised.
All right, you want to know what I say to that?
It doesn't matter what your name is.
That doesn't apply here.
Yeah, I know it does.
And then it all circles back to I'm very ashamed to say I did watch pretty much all of Super
I was
Showdown.
about to say, I was like, we're going to talk about that. Why?
Again, it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, it's wrestling.
So that's how WWE's making their money back on this whole thing. They're expecting that a whole bunch of really bored out wrestling fans would be like, oh, there's nothing really else going on. Might as well watch Super Showdown.
Like when I get the I'm like, oh yeah, it's on. All right, what's the worst that'll happen? And then when I saw
You want to know what I was doing around that time? I was watching Riverdale. Like, I would rather watch Riverdale over Super Showdown any day.
I should have just went and watched.
And it was
like, an
season
old-
3, and I actually liked that fucking season.
I could have watched 4 classic Royal Rumble matches in the time it took me to watch Super Showdown.
I ate ramen.
I feel,
You probably had the best night out of the 3 of us.
I feel like that's not an isolated incident. Though.
I went to Port Jeff and had ramen.
You
That's
had
an
the good
isolated
one.
incident.
Yeah. And then there was like a whole bunch of puppies around. It was a good time.
Nice.
I had a good time.
But maybe this was their response to Double or Nothing because we had another 50-year-old man busting himself silly.
Actually, let's talk about the response to Double or Nothing. The response was NXT TakeOver. And I heard they put a banger of the show. I was still trying to get through it because I've been watching it here and there. I finished the Riddle Strong match, and that was a fucking banger.
There's really no bad match on that card.
Yeah, that's why I want to get through the rest
It was better than Double or Nothing, in my opinion, because you had, 5 matches, and you just gave them all the time in the world to just roam and stretch.
So that's where I put like the little asterisk critique on it. It's because it was slightly shorter and not as long of a show, which is why I can't fully
I'm gonna
give it.
disagree with that.
Yeah, but I feel like Double or Nothing still had more low points than TakeOver.
Fair enough.
Here-
I'll give you that, but
The difference between Double or Nothing and NXT TakeOver 25 is that NXT TakeOver 25, they had the build-up with television. Granted, it was the network, but it was still television. They had the build-up. They had
I'm not arguing about build-up. I'm
just giving reasons why it is also a better show. They had the build-up. They had the time. They had the established names. A lot of these names were kind of being shown on television for the very first time. So it's kind of an impressive type thing. I attribute NXT Arrival to Double or Nothing. And I feel like over time, AEW will get to where NXT is at currently. But until then, WWE has to put all their chips into NXT TakeOver, and they did not disappoint.
Okay, that's a fair point. I'll concede on that, but I still personally, for me, I'll put the asterisk there just because it's not like a fully like
If TakeOver came
similar
first,
show.
if TakeOver
Not a
came,
fully.
It's
It's
not
not
a
a fully similar show. That's what I've got to get to.
They're a completely different product.
if TakeOver came first, then I could see you being like, because basically Double or Nothing set the standard, and the reason why NXT TakeOver has so much is because they saw the standard and they met, if not exceeded it.
So it's got to be a war between NXT TakeOver and Double or Nothing, and that's something I want to talk about at the end of the podcast. I figured out our main topic.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we'll definitely in TakeOver we have to give a standings update as well. Not much changed, but
Yes, let's get into that though, because that's not what I want to talk about later.
because Jimmy and I did expect a full blow of the Undisputed Era. We were almost right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. I was.
But Cole did end up beating Gargano, so CJ and Jared got the point on that. But I evened it out because I had the Street Profits.
You did have the
winning
Street
tag
Profits.
titles. So
So
I'm
not disappointed in how because all the matches were good, so that's why I'm not disappointed by that. I'm more curious about how this is going to evolve storyline wise. Because it doesn't really make sense that only the main leader of it.
it kind of puts Cole on his high horse now, where it's like you don't know who he's going to get out of the
Yeah,
group.
so is he gonna like just drop all of Undisputed Era, or is Undisputed Era gonna kick him out because of it?
they
That's my.
could
That's where
turn
my.
on him.
That's yeah. So I guess.
Or he could just have more justification for kicking Strong out. He'd be like, look, guys, I'm the only one that's carrying the torch around here. I am the leader. You need to do what I say. And Roderick is the weakest link. We need to take him out. I think that could easily. He kind of re-established his dominance with that time. Because if they all lost, then like he'd be like, "Oh, get rid of Strong." They'd be like, "Why should we listen to you? You didn't even beat the guy you were supposed to beat."
Yeah,
I agree with that.
That's what I was looking at. But the way that they're booking it, it could be Adam Cole he gets excommunicated from the group. You know,
Because there's a rumor the Undisputed Era as a whole is going to. Well, I think without Strong is going to get called up soon.
I'd be okay with that. Or you have the Undisputed Era except Adam Cole get called up.
We also all got the women's title match wrong because we all picked Io Shirai and Shayna won.
What the fuck, Shayna?
And she didn't even she just choked the life out of Io Shirai.
So who beats Shayna?
Candice LeRae. It's the only one. Cause if it's not an outsider,
Yeah, it
division,
has to be.
it's Candice
It has to be Candice LeRae.
That's the only one, and that's upsetting.
Fucking Dakota
Not
Kai
that-
when she comes back.
Like I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it because all these women wrestlers are good. It's just it would have made
Actually-
sense for Io Shirai.
One more person should face Shayna. Rhea fucking Ripley.
If they have a similar, no, I'm not thinking. No, never mind. No.
If there's anyone, I think they should start going to the NXT UK roster, and I want to see Rhea Ripley destroy Shayna.
There's a lot of similarities right now between Shayna and Asuka when Asuka
Yeah.
was in NXT, where she's just running through everyone.
Which begs the question: should Shayna even drop the belt or vacate the belt?
Or you just, when Nia Jax comes back, you punish her for injury, people send her down to NXT, and she has a
Is that
banger of a feud
Is that
with
really
Shayna
a
Baszler.
punishment though?
On paper, it is.
On paper, but
Tell that
I mean,
to Tyler Breeze, the Ascension,
That was a really
Tyson
great match.
Kidd.
Was that the one match we all got right? No, we all had Matt Riddle. That was the
We all have Matt Riddle. We all have Velveteen.
yeah. So those were the two matches we all got right. We all got dominated on the Io Shirai match, and then we were split. I was the only one who had the tag title match right, and you and Jared got the main event right. So I'm trying to. So how would that work mathematically? So is it?
Oh, you and Jared
Are
are
plus
plus
four.
4. Me and Jim are plus 2.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I have to get 3 right.
So Jared
so
and
it
I
depends
are,
on
Or
what.
plus, I have to just get 2 right and tie with you guys.
So next week when we do stomping ground predictions, correct? Or is it 2 weeks from
I
now?
think
Next
it's
week.
Next
It
week.
is next week. All right. So when we do that, we have to figure something out.
The most
You have to get
predictable.
plus 3. I have to get plus 2.
It's the most predictable pay-per-view of all time now because everything just happened with Saudi. There's so many champions on the card that just can't lose.
Do we want to go through any of the other matches on NXT TakeOver, or we're just like, it's a fucking banger? Let's move on.
It's a banger, and it was like I can't say I was disappointed at anything NXT does.
Okay.
I was
So-
expecting a little bit more of storyline development, at least between Undisputed Era, but they came out looking like everything's fine.
I think it depends on what happens on TV,
On the tapings,
on the
yeah.
tapings and
Yeah.
TV for them.
But,
I guess that's where the real build-up for that is.
We were right in the fact that Duke and Shafir were going to get involved in the women's championship match, and Candice LeRae did end up making the save.
so it's probably going to be Candice.
Yeah. Candice came down with like the longest kendo stick I've ever seen and just walloped the two of them like there was no tomorrow.
I hope Shayna doesn't just vacate the belt. I hate when people just vacate the belt because they're moving up, because I feel like it doesn't give the rub. And I feel like the rub is very important.
There needs to be a full-on uprising against the 3 horsewomen from the NXT women's roster that leads to Candice LeRae winning the title.
Exactly. Like everyone. Like even those 3 random black jobbers.
Yeah,
that
like
just got kicked.
like WWE
fucking
did with the Nexus back in the day.
Yeah,
essentially.
exactly.
Like when they all show up and be like, we don't care who wins this belt, we just want it off of you and we want you as far away from NXT
And I
as possible.
feel like that would protect Shayna too, because like she's that much of a threat.
Do you think they
Have
do
you
a
noticed-
proper loser leaves town match?
That would be interesting.
I would like that.
I think you need to see Shayna, especially now because it seems like Sasha Banks is starting to work her way back. Because she was recording material for 2K not too long ago. So I think it seems like she's starting to work her way back, as Vince McMahon apparently talked her off the ledge a little bit.
But
Yeah, they did like have a one-on-one and stuff like that. So that's
So it
usually a
sounds
good
like
sign.
she is coming back at some
But
point.
apparently, she's also changing her Instagram handle to.
Well, she changed her Instagram to her real name.
Yeah,
She changed her hair is now like back to regular brown.
and also she's like removed all references of WWE from social media, so you don't know.
I think they're trying to maybe they'll try and make something out of this. I think you need to have Shayna on the main roster if you have any hope of making something out of the whole 4 horsewomen thing. But you need to make sure Sasha's not leaving anytime soon in order to pull that build off. Unless you're like, oh crap, who's almost the 4th horsewoman of the WWE? Fuck it, Nia Jax, throw her in there. Don't worry about the fact that she's beat the crap out of the other 3.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, Bayley has to win Stomping Grounds. If Bayley loses to Alexa Bliss, this whole thing
Well,
is for
let's
nothing.
get into Stomping Grounds. What's been revealed? So we got a rematch between Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin for the Universal Championship. Steel cage match, WWE Championship, Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler.
Again, should be a banger.
Okay, that's probably pretty good.
Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre.
I guess will be good.
Raw
We'll find
Women's SmackDown Women's Championship. Bailey versus Alexa. Raw Women's Championship. Becky versus Lacey. That's pretty much it, right?
For an hour, yeah.
Yeah.
Who else still needs a match?
Well, there's probably
tag
going to be a
teams.
SmackDown Tag Team title match with Heavy Machinery, I'm sure.
Yeah, and there's probably Raw Tag Team Championship on the kickoff between the Viking Raiders and the whatever the fuck
AOP.
Major Brothers.
Oh, Major Brothers?
Yeah.
Maybe the Usos and the Revival will finally have their fucking pay-per-view match.
They had a kickoff match at Saudi.
That's not a pay-per-view. It's the one match I didn't watch because, again, I forgot the fucking show was even happening.
Yeah. But
yeah, Bailey needs the win because the last time Bailey started getting going again, Alexa beat her. Like, after she beat Charlotte for the Roman title, Alexa just flattened her at the next pay-per-view, and that was it.
who should Becky drop it to? Because I don't feel like it would be Lacey.
It's not going to be Lacey. I don't think Lacey's ready yet.
Yeah.
Who else is on the Raw Women's
I
roster?
could see Naomi
Sasha?
being built up.
Sasha, Naomi, Natalia.
I mean, if Sasha does it, I think
Nikki?
Sasha needs to be a proper heel again.
Mickey's on SmackDown.
No, Nikki,
Oh,
not
yeah.
Mickey. Nikki.
Nikki would be interesting because if Alexa loses her title opportunity and then Nikki gets one,
Yeah.
that would be interesting to kind of see
I just
that.
want Ratchet Sasha to come back. If that's
You've
where
been
this is
wanting
leading.
that for years.
I know, and I feel like that's what they might be doing if Sasha, quote unquote, isn't leaving. I mean, we still don't know, but
Also, why?
I'd rather that.
Why is a Raw superstar challenging for the SmackDown Women's Championship? Do we have no faith in the rest of the division?
Wild card.
Why was a Raw tag team beating the SmackDown Tag Team Championships?
Well, apparently we don't talk about that because it's never been brought up on TV again. Because now the Usos have been kind of thrown into the Roman
Look,
Reigns Champion feud.
WWE is very difficult to understand and to watch, and it's very hard to enjoy it as a result of it.
You know what's kind of sad, and it kind of proves the point we're making this whole time? They were able to make a 50-man battle royal by just throwing in a few cruiserweights with the rest of the main roster. They had no one from NXT. They had no legends or anything. It was straight up main roster, cruiserweights, and Mansoor. You got 50 out of that. That's kind of, and it wasn't like it was the entire 205 Live roster. There was maybe 6 of them in there. I guess
Did they have a bigger ring for this? How do you?
No,
fit
it was
fi-
normal ring.
How do you
It
fit
was a
50 fucking?
There was
people?
6 after the first 10 seconds. It's woo, 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 woo. Just start throwing people out.
Yeah, I'm just no EC3 and Singh Brothers.
You had Humberto Carrillo was in there. Brian Kendrick was in there.
Who?
The first one.
Humberto Carrillo, is that his name?
That's
Oh yeah, the 205. Yeah.
Yeah,
Brian
yeah.
Kendrick was in there. Tony Nese. He got eliminated with no fanfare. Good job for the Cruiserweight champion. But Buddy Murphy's not on the 205 Live roster anymore, so he doesn't count. Akira Tozawa was in there.
Oh yeah, he's here.
So I think there was there's been 5 cruisers. So you got to 40 people just from the main roster. It just shows you how bloated that roster is.
Yeah.
And you didn't even have any of your big names that had matches earlier in the night. Like Roman wasn't in it, Ziggler wasn't in it, Kofi wasn't in it.
Xavier could have been in it. That'd be cool.
He really should have been in it. But he should have won it. Or Big E should have won it. Have Big E come back from injury and just win the whole thing.
Where are we going with this?
I think we were just asking about a whole bunch of questions.
Well,
until
because I think we were talking about the right. Well, this started with the whole Alexa Bliss thing. Because I'm like, if you have that bloated of a roster, you can find a better challenger for Bayley,
Oh, yeah.
and you can find a better challenger
Bayley-
for Braun and Rowan.
The women's. I'm still waiting for the Bailey Charlotte match. Like that.
I
should
think
have
they're. Why do I feel like they're gonna? I don't. It's obviously not Stomping Grounds. It's gonna be
SummerSlam?
Lacey. Why are they It seems like they're pushing a triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship involving Charlotte.
I don't want that.
And I don't want it either, but it seems like that's what we're getting. It seems like they cannot book a competent feud for Charlotte or Becky without one of them just hanging out in the shadows.
To be honest, though, Becky had a good feud standalone from Lacey. Like with Lacey,
but Charlotte was
fun.
still kind of involved.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, for the beginning
but
part of
Becky,
it.
Becky has shown she could do a feud without. She could begin to have a feud with Charlotte. It's like WWE has no faith in any women's feud without Charlotte.
They have no faith in being able to just pull Charlotte away from Becky and let them both. Not even just the Becky thing. I feel like they feel like they need to just keep these two together.
I mean, that's what's going on with the wild card rule. It's the same. It's the
Yeah.
same exact thing. They can't trust
Lacey's-
Raw being good without the top main people who are champions on a different brand.
Lacey feels like a placeholder until we get another Becky Charlotte feud. It's what it feels like.
I'm waiting for Becky Sasha, Becky Ronda. Becky.
Well, Ronda is not going to happen for a while.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen for a long while.
I know,
Because
but-
the thing originally what I had envisioned once Becky lost the 2 belts was I thought she would drop one of the belts to Asuka, have her and Charlotte go with her thing, and have Asuka just run roughshod over SmackDown for a while.
Oh yeah, where
Yeah,
the
that
fuck is
didn't
the
happen.
Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, that didn't
Because
happen.
Where are the women's tag team titles?
That too.
When's the last time Peyton and Billy even defended them? Was it against those 2 random jobbers at the first night as champions?
Yes.
No. I don't even think they defended it.
I think it was. I
defended
think it was a
once.
defense in air quotes.
But like they're like, this is the greatest tag team to come from this area. The Southern something Bells.
Whatever the fuck they
Brooklyn
are.
Bells.
The Brooklyn Bells, that was it. They like defended it against them and squashed them, or I guess they iconic squashed them. It was like a 6-minute match, but yeah, they what happened?
6-minute match is a squash
Yeah, apparently for the Iconics, yeah.
for the Iconics.
For a comedy act, yeah, it is. Santino Morella never beat anyone in 30 seconds. He eliminated himself in the Royal Rumble in a second, but
Yeah.
so there's got to be someone like fine. Alexa can't win. Like, I said this multiple times, but Alexa can't beat Bayley. Bayley needs the momentum. She's a Raw superstar. Let Bayley have a natural feud. Give Bayley, like, Sonya Deville. And I think that would be a really nice feud.
I was really excited when Carmella showed up, because that would have been a good feud.
That would have been fine. Carmella's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Carmella's been relegated to 24 championship fight at this point, 24/7, which is fine.
We don't know yet. She has yet to face R-Truth yet.
Well, she's just been relegated to that storyline. Every time it's like, just piggyback her out of there. So I feel like there's got to be someone that you need to let Bayley have a good feud, and you need to get Becky and Charlotte just away from each other.
Yes.
I don't know how you get Charlotte. I feel like it's hard. They just don't know how to not put Charlotte in a main event, a main level feud.
I would have been excited if I saw Lacey Evans and Charlotte go for the tag titles. I think that would have been really cool.
Like if Charlotte just got the absolute shit kicked out of her in the triple threat match at Mania and took a few months off instead of Ronda, I think we would have been
in a much better situation.
yeah, we would have been much more okay with it. Like Ronda still could have left, but I feel like Charlotte could have easily
so
just have
Charlotte's
Becky
the problem.
yeah. You're realizing this now?
I've been saying this for a while,
Because her
since
character
WrestleMania
really,
34.
her character hasn't changed in the last since June of last year.
I said all this.
When did she turn back heel?
Survivor Series.
Yeah,
Right.
Survivor Series after Becky got injured and she faced Ronda.
Oh right,
That
Becky
was
supposed to be
technically
the
heel, and then-
right, Becky was supposed to be the heel in the SummerSlam. No,
Exa-
but
yeah.
wasn't? Oh yeah, they were both faces in the SummerSlam match.
Yeah.
Because it was a triple threat, right now I remember.
Yeah.
Okay, so her character hasn't moved. It's really just I'm the queen and I have a lot of titles and you all should bow and I'm just gonna carry this division for a while.
Well, she's been like that since WrestleMania 34. Fuck Asuka.
Fucking Asuka.
Fucking Asuka.
Asuka goes from teaming with Kairi Sane in the most meaningless division in WWE. The 24/7 division has more meaning behind it than the women's tag team division because this is where we're at right now.
That's really saying something. That's really sad.
The 24/7 title gets more screen time in one night than the women's tag titles do in a week.
It gets more press coverage too.
Seriously. It was a great
I think
idea.
I've seen like 3 different stories in almost one day.
Too many championships.
You know what the problem was? They thought it was a great idea to give the belts to the Iconics. And then once that whole Sasha thing came out, like, fuck, now we're stepped in it and we have nothing we can do now.
See, this is why you should have just kept it on Sasha and Bayley to begin with.
And you wouldn't have had Sasha storming out of WrestleMania, possibly, allegedly. We don't know.
All right.
Anyway.
Next topic. Jon Moxley.
Yeah,
John
let's
Moxley.
get off that topic of the trash on the main roster.
There's
for
some
now.
good stuff surrounding Jon
So
Moxley
did
right
anyone
now.
watch the Jon Moxley IWGP U.S. Heavyweight Championship match?
No, that's
but
on
I
my
know
wish list.
But I know he won.
I know he
did
won as well.
Really, it was really cool because he came out. His name is now like the Death Rider, Jon Moxley. It's fucking intimidating. He has a whole new gear. He has like,
Is it Kevlar?
it's not Kevlar. Sorry, I'm sick and I'm congested. But he had like the leather jacket. He had the like biker shorts and everything like that, but not like jean biker shorts, just like biker short tights, whatever. He literally brutalized Juice Robinson. Like, he just kept biting him and punching him square in his cut face and everything, and he was just using every hardcore thing. And it was a good match. It was a pretty good match.
What do you think of Jon Moxley wearing tights instead of like what we're used to
like
for
jeans?
WWE? Yeah, like the Dean Ambrose look, I guess.
It's definitely different. Definitely different. Like, I thought he would be coming out in something similar to how he debuted in AEW, but maybe they're trying to keep the whole promotion
Well, that might have been
separate.
like just his look for, I don't know, either an entrance or just for like, like doing promos and shit like that, but not like wrestling gear. Because that didn't really look like wrestling gear,
But I thought
too.
it would be his wrestling gear, though. And you say that doesn't look like wrestling gear? So are jeans. Jeans are
Baron
wrestling
Corbin doesn't wear wrestling gear.
Good
Case in
point.
point.
Case in point. You're right
gear.
on
Roman
that.
Reigns doesn't wear wrestling gear.
You could make the argument that he kind of is.
I would
You
s-
could make for
I would-
Roman Reigns. You could.
He's a baggier D'Lo Brown.
What the hell did you just say? I'm going to make the point I was going to make and not smack you. I would sign up for a hardcore match between Jimmy Havoc and Jon Moxley.
You want to know what match would be really interesting that someone else really wants? Minoru Suzuki.
Oh yeah, Suzuki-san.
He is another Japanese Brock Lesnar who would.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's a brutal motherfucker. But I wanted to see Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley.
I want to see Orange Cassidy versus Tommy Dreamer. Like 2.0.
Oh boy.
But Jon Moxley went off to a great start.
You know who Jon Moxley wouldn't beat? Shane McMahon. What if this spot was intended for Ambrose and he was supposed to put Shane over at Saudi? He's like, fuck that, I'm not doing that.
Oh no.
Who knows? He'll probably be on like another fucking wrestling podcast and he'll explain that.
I don't know.
He'd be like, and then he wanted me to say suffer and succotash with a pooper scooper in my hand after I lost to Shane.
No. Sorry.
But Moxley being U.S. champion is very interesting. I'm excited to see where he goes from here. He already has a couple fights announced. Joey Janela, he's versing. He's also versing a young lion. Tomorrow, actually, in Dominion. And he has a match with Pentagon Jr. in a couple weeks for Northeast Wrestling, which is going to be exciting. So I'd love to see Pentagon versus Moxley. That's a good one.
So it's a good sign for AEW that you now have two top-level guys cross-promoting with New Japan, with Jericho and Moxley.
Yeah, that's exciting. But they also put it in their clause, too, to do that.
When is Jericho?
Tomorrow.
It's tomorrow?
Tomorrow, he's versing against Okada. Painmaker versus Rainmaker.
It's going to be really good.
Yeah. Do you think Jericho should win that title?
I didn't think Jericho should have beaten Kenny Omega, but here we are.
Well, that's a different product, though.
Yeah. But, it's really interesting to see them win, like, titles that are representative of where they were with WWE. Like, Chris Jericho's first title in New Japan was the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Dean Ambrose won the IWGP United States.
Yeah, and those are two belts that WWE put on them, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, for Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley, it was the U.S. belt, and
For
I think for
years,
Jericho,
yeah.
I think it was.
Well, he's
it
a
wasn't an issue.
9-time Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah,
He's
he's one of
synonymous
the-
with that belt.
He's one of the best Intercontinental champions.
I would argue the best.
I feel like the Miz.
Well, I mean, the Miz
Reigns
would
to pass him.
make the argument for the Miz.
Jericho.
Talent-wise, yes, but the Miz is going to have like 6 more Intercontinental title reigns. For sure.
No, we're going to say...
Hey, let's not forget that Wade Barrett's a 5-time Intercontinental champion.
Let's not forget JBL was an Intercontinental Champion.
Rip in peace.
JBL's alive.
No, I meant the career of Bad News Barrett. It all goes back to TLC. What was that, 2014, when he got buried by John Cena?
That was 2010.
Seriously? Wow. It's for Bags. I just watched a video on the Nexus, too.
That was 2010. 9 years ago.
We won't forget you, Wade. Is it funny that the only members of the original Nexus left are Curtis Axel and Daniel Bryan?
No, the original Nexus?
Well, the
That's
original-
Heath Slater.
Oh, yeah, Heath.
Heath Slater,
Daniel
Bryan,
Daniel Bryan,
and David Otunga.
Oh, God. He doesn't count. And then you have the next incarnation, which included Michael McGillicuddy and Husky Harris.
was
Yes.
still with the company.
Which,
Curtis,
again,
did you see that Firefly
Firefly
Funhouse?
Funhouse was so good this week. that damn Husky.
Dude, the Muscle Man dance.
It's Huskus, and he needs to lose weight. Oh, my God. Devil Vince.
Rah, 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 rah. Good shit.
Oh, my God. How did they greenlight this?
You know what it is? Because they got a little puppet of Vince, and anything involving Vince inside of something.
It's a prop. Yes. Vince of you know I'm more handsome.
Vince is probably like,
No, Vince, I'm the devil, yes.
Vince is like, you want to insult me?
I
Wait,
beat
there's a puppet
God,
involved?
so that makes me the devil.
Wait, there's a puppet involved? Hold on. I might be more into this.
Well, Vince always has a great laugh at himself. Like, he's always been able to do that.
Yeah,
So
he
he
can
probably
always
had a
kick.
he probably had a kick out of this.
And
Like,
think
this
about
is
it. When
cool.
everyone's calling Vince McMahon like Satan himself, what a better way for Bray Wyatt to get over than just go right into that storm. Just turn right into the storm.
Did you see Vince did the Muscle Man dance, though? Vince the puppet.
I
That
have
was...
to look this up.
That was-
That was such
Later.
a good Firefly Funhouse.
All right. And now the big thing I want to talk about before we get to our main event topic. So California passed a new rule. They're
rule.
trying to pass a law stating, bear with me,
That Shane McMahon cannot win any match within their state limits.
something along those lines, actually.
I wish.
So they passed a new thing about workers, and that all employees are considered workers. And by workers would be people that would get benefits, health benefits, union benefits, time off.
Well, employees, yeah.
Yeah, they'd be treated like employees. All companies should do that, conducting business in the California state. And then they said independent contractors are also considered under that guideline of workers.
Which would mean WWE because they run plenty of events in Cali.
Yes.
Ooh.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so What Culture Wrestling actually brought up this point. I remember watching the video. Shoutouts to Andy H. Murray, the inspirational one. Yeah, listening to this was very interesting because it kind of shows that WWE may have to face something that they haven't had to face since, like, New Jersey or the steroid scandal. Because apparently they also had something in New Jersey, too, at one point. For, like, taxes.
It's Vince McMahon petty enough to pull out of all California ventures.
Listen, he went into Saudi Arabia for what? How many billions of dollars for 10 years?
To ignore all
10
the
years.
all the
Yeah, 10 years. For 10 years, how many billions?
I think like $1 billion a year.
Billion a year. Yeah, he's willing. Yeah, he's willing to ignore California. I have 100% confidence that.
But SummerSlam is like the home in LA for like the next 50 years, probably.
Actually, California? No, it's Canada hosting SummerSlam this year, right?
Or is look it up.
Or is it Toronto is being hosted by Survivor Series?
Is Toronto hosting Survivor? I think Toronto's hosting Survivor.
Because the thing is, this bill has not been passed yet. So Vince could use his blood money to make sure that bill does not get passed.
If you want this bill passed, if you want this bill passed, Roman Reigns won't appear in California again. Wait, stop signing it. Hold on. I mean Roman Reigns. I mean Seth Rollins.
No. If you get this bill passed, we will job out San Jose's favorite daughter, Bailey.
Swear to God.
All right. So to update on that, yes, Toronto is hosting SummerSlam this year.
I feel like there's a big four that's hosting, being hosted by LA. Maybe Survivor Series.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, but like that's a big thing. You know, WWE's getting they're getting attacked by all sides.
They're gonna send Teddy Long in there. If you put this bill through, you're gonna go one-on-one with the Undertaker, player.
And just an update for Survivor Series: it's being hosted in Chicago.
Ooh, they're fucked.
Well, there's the CM Punk return right there. I already wrote it.
Well, when's
I'm gonna get into that.
When's All Out? All Out's in November.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
I'm
All
getting
Out
to
is
that.
the same day as
I'm getting to that.
as NXT TakeOver UK.
Damn it,
Whatever
Joe, that
is.
was my thing.
Whenever that is.
All right.
So now that
were
Joe
saying?
spoiled it, you were saying.
Anyways, that's all I got. Oh, and WWE's changing their NXT contracts for when they sign people. It's a 5-year deal minimum.
That's
They
not
can't- They
terrible.
can't back out.
And I feel like nobody in NXT would complain about being there for 5 years. If it was a main roster 5-year deal, that might be a problem.
Yeah, if it's a main roster one, I would probably be more concerned. If it's NXT, I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's just NXT. It's a WWE
Then
contract
again,
for
if
5
you
years.
get called up a year in, now you're stuck for 4 years.
Yeah, because I think they're trying to do that to keep people. But let's take a break so this way we can talk about Joe's fucking spoiler. And we're back. We just want to give you a little update, actually, on the buy-in for Double or Nothing. Jimmy, hit us with the stats.
Yes. So originally they hit 98,500 buys worldwide. Wrestling Observer Meltzer readjusted those numbers and projected that they actually got 113,000 buys worldwide, making that anything above 100,000, it would make AEW the third largest wrestling promotion following WWE and WCW.
And that's its first night, bitches. Now let's hit you guys with some Impact Wrestling and ECW stuff.
All right, so the largest that Impact has ever gotten was 60,000 for Genesis 2006.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that is a Samoa Joe.
I think it's
2006 Genesis.
2006 Genesis.
No, Kurt Angle was still with WWE at the time.
So it has to be. It has to be a. So it has to be a Sting thing.
Possibly.
It has to be a Sting thing. It has to.
I'll look it up.
All right,
Yeah,
and then
that up.
ECW, it maxed out at 99,000 for Heat Wave 1999.
That was a good one. Oh no. Kurt Angle versus Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe. Genesis was in November.
Oh, November. Oh, it was in
Angle
November
gone
that
by,
year.
like what?
Oh, so
April?
Nah, he was gone by like July,
So what am I thinking?
August, because he was gone after One Night Stand 2006.
Okay, yeah, and that was.
so
in,
what am I
June,
thinking?
so.
That's in January for their
Because it
pay-per-view?
became January for the past like 10
Oh,
years.
okay. Then they moved it. They moved it to January, which is
Yeah.
stupid. But all right, I'm not gonna complain about it. It's Impact. Who cares about Impact?
I'm just surprised there's the
Our Truth was also there.
What was he was Ron Killings at the time,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, was he teaming with Patman Jones?
No, Lance
No.
Hoyt.
Oh,
Lance Hoyt.
another underrated big man.
Yes.
Love Lance Hoyt.
Versus
Vance
the
Ar-
Paparazzi, Austin Starr and Alex Shelley.
Oh, that's a great tag team.
You mean Vance
That's-
Archer? WWE's Vance Archer.
Yes.
You mean WWE's Austin Aries? The great run he had?
You mean Alex Shelley from Impact Wrestling's Alex Shelley?
Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah. So, all right. So the big thing I wanted to get into was Joe said it, but there's more to it. August 31st holds not one, not two, but three wrestling
my
events.
spoiler was like an amuse-bouche. It was just, it was a preview.
Shut the fuck up. All right. So, announced for August 31st. It is a Saturday. We have All Elite Wrestling pay-per-view All Out featuring the AEW World Championship crowning between Hangman Page and Chris Jericho. And there's another match announced for that card, right?
Which card?
All Out.
Okay, hold on.
There were two matches announced for that card. That's all I remember though. But and then you also have NXT TakeOver Cardiff, which is the second UK pay-per-view
I think so.
that they've had. So that's also going on August 31st. And then there's a third one, and that is New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest, and that is in London.
Apparently, that's why WWE made the NXT pay-per-view then, because they thought New Japan wasn't drawing well enough.
Yeah, didn't they? They said there
They
was
fu- they fucked up.
only like 2,000 seats on the ticket site, so they're like, "Oh, let's do Cardiff." Ha ha ha! But it's like 2,000 on that site.
On
but
that
they,
one side, yeah.
But they
had a
got
second
like
one.
5,000-6,000 people already and stuff.
Yep, they fucked up bad.
They did fuck up. But now that's like 3 wrestling things. And I don't think even WWE, WCW did pay-per-views like that.
The only times that I remember them running up against each other was like the 80s. It was like Vince McMahon created Survivor Series to go up against
Starcade.
and then Clash of the Champions meant to go up against WrestleMania. But I don't remember anything else after that point. Because apparently it was a thing back in the 80s when they started doing that, when cable companies basically said, hey, fuck off, because we're not getting enough buys for your 2 pay-per-views because you guys keep going up against each other.
Yeah.
So, stop running against each other because we want to.
Well, yeah, but now with like the inception of like Fight app and stuff like that,
you got-
it doesn't really fucking matter at this
And
point.
AEW doesn't give a shit what WWE says.
Yeah, exactly. That's the scary part too, because WWE doesn't do the pay-per-view network, so they don't have to worry about that with.
Right, it's not even a regular pay-per-view. It's just the network because it's TakeOver.
Yeah, exactly. And then New Japan, they're being streamed on pay-per-view and the NJPW World app. But then you have All Out, which is probably going to be streamed on Fight, Bleacher Report Live. But that's just crazy thing. We've never seen something like this. at least in our lifetimes, where it's like 3 pay-per-views going on head to head to head. You know?
No, I
The one thing,
the closest thing that we have anything to that is really whenever there's a Ring of Honor New Japan Super card on that Saturday and they're facing off against NXT. That's the closest thing that I could think of.
I feel like because WWE, if it's a takeover from Cardiff, it would probably be going on at weird times. That might give them the advantage because it might be going on like the afternoon. That's why
it would.
More people might watch it.
So the time zone difference, I think, is what, 6 hours? They're 6 hours ahead of us or something like that?
Something like. So you could technically watch both.
Yeah, you could have that run at like 1, 2 in the afternoon, and that would be done by like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then you just have.
And that's if you watch it if you watch it live and you're not doing anything that Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that could be the one thing that gives, because since it's on a Saturday, that could give WWE a bit of an edge in getting people just because it's at a time slot that it's completely different.
Yeah, but even just like raking people in.
But then again, New Japan might be in a similar time slot.
They would be. Well, they're both in England.
Well, Cardiff's in Wales.
Whatever. They're the same fucking island.
It's the same fucking island. Don't get too semantic about
that's interesting because WWE announced. Well, the thing is, New Japan announced this first. They announced this in February. All Out was announced a couple weeks ago, but at the same time, that wouldn't have conflicted with New Japan because of the time zone difference.
Yeah.
So Joe's point is correct. Then WWE's like, you know what? Fuck it. Everyone else is doing it. Let's jump on that August 31st bandwagon. Boom. And then they're there. But they're competing with New Japan, not necessarily All Elite Wrestling, but at the same time doing it because AEW and New Japan were ahead of them on it. So,
but I feel like the only thing that would tempt the core WWE fan is AEW. I don't think New Japan would be able to.
No, definitely not.
Stuff. Then again, it is WWE UK, so it might be a little bit harder to get people into it. But I feel like it'll be. I feel like if you're gonna watch one of the two and you've been a WWE fan for a while, I don't think New Japan's gonna take you away.
Yeah, like I don't even know, Jim. What do you think the numbers are for NXT UK? I feel like they don't get as much numbers.
Well, I don't know.
Because like
I will make the argument that the wrestling fans in United Kingdom and Europe at large is completely different than us. A lot of their fans majority are like marks like us. They're not so like the UK brand isn't like catered to like kids like they are here in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's very different.
But I feel like the thing that's weird with WWE can totally fudge those numbers with NXT UK because it's not a pay-per-view. They can just say, oh, look at all these people that were on the network at the time.
Yeah, and they've done the weird light tricks where they push all the people on the TV side and no one's on like camera side, and so it's possible they can get away with it unless like some.
Just like was it Matt
some
Jackson?
fan?
It's like, guys, it rounds up. It's like 20,000 people. It's like no, it's like 12,000. No, but it rounds up. Don't worry about it. So All Out is in Chicago.
It was like CJ said. It was announced during on Double or Nothing weekend Starcast 3, and it's technically being touted as the unofficial sequel to All In.
Yes.
If you were creating another pay-per-view for this day that people had to pay for and it wasn't on the network, you'd be screwed. Because no one's going to pay for All Out and a WWE in the same day.
I don't know about that. I mean, Chicago is also a huge wrestling town. And the people came the first time. It's not crazy. It's not crazy to think that they would do it again.
Not just for the seats. I mean the pay-per-view buys. Pay-per-view buys, you would not get people buying both.
Yeah, it would be one or the other. But the thing is, it might go to All Elite Wrestling compared to something like NXT TakeOver.
Well, the viewing might. I don't know about the buying. The buying might be taken out of like out of the New Japan one. Not so much.
Yeah,
from WWE.
As far
like people aren't going to be canceling their network subscriptions right now. They have to wait until I would think that there might be a dip in network subscriptions.
Maybe after SummerSlam.
No, I think it might be later than that because I don't know. I don't know where the breaking point would be. Has there been any changes in the pricings of it yet?
They've been talking about it.
Yeah, they've been talking about it. I think once the pricing adjustment comes in and the kind of new year kicks in with like the free TV that we're going to get for AEW, hopefully a real change in how WWE views like the product itself. And then getting that real debate of like, what's really worth it? Is it worth paying the $60-somewhat to purchase it on Fight TV? How much was it on Bleacher Live?
I only paid $50.
Yeah, if it's $50 on Bleacher Live.
I think originally it was just $50 across the board.
Maybe. I'm using 60 as like a roundabout number.
Which Cody himself said that might have been a little high.
But he's also like, we don't want you guys to shell out $50 every month, so we won't do pay-per-views every month. Granted, this is the summer, so they're trying to capitalize on their momentum until the pay-per-views.
And if it's the summer, more people are going to be willing to go out. There's no school.
Yeah.
Then people are less stressed at work. It's not a busy time of the year. So
I don't think we see a major paradigm shift in the WWE product until we get past WrestleMania 36. Because I think everything's so mapped out.
Well, I think we said that going into the beginning of 2019. We said that at WrestleMania, and we said that for the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. And I don't disagree. I think that we said that we'd see major changes, and we kind of did, if you want to call the wild card rule, the 24/7 belt.
They're like kind of going back to the Attitude Era for the third hour Raw, which is dumb.
Yeah, that is what they're saying. That's what Mick Foley touted about recently.
I'm gonna say that I'm sticking by the original point, which is 2019 is a huge year for wrestling.
No, we agree.
The Fox deal, the TNT deal, All Elite Wrestling, NXT takeovers. I'm just saying, like around like the paradigm shift. I'm gonna agree with Joe because let's look at it this way. WrestleMania 36. How long will each product have their TV deals for?
Well, All Elite would be like, that's like...
They're both in October, so what is
6
that?
6 months?
6 months? Okay.
Yeah,
it's 6 months.
So let's say 7. Well, actually, 6 months. So you have 6 months of TV ratings to see how the product is really changing. So I think after WrestleMania is actually a really good time to look at it, and I can even argue till May, to whatever Double or Nothing sequel could possibly be. Because we need to see the ratings. We need to see how people choose and will tune in.
Well, that's also if they're also planning to do pay-per-views around those times as well. All they've done is announced up until August.
Well, I'm going off of what Cody Rhodes has also said, which all Double or Nothing and All In / All Out are going to be like the two big pay-per-views they have. Because All In was the start of everything, and Double or Nothing was like the very first one under the brand. So those are going to be the big ones that they're going to be like redoing every year. Their WrestleMania and SummerSlam, their Starrcade and Clash of the Champions, their Slammiversary and Bound for Glory. That's going to be their thing.
Here's a crazy idea, Vince. Instead of trying to make the third hour of Raw more edgier, just cut the third hour of Raw.
No, they want that advertising money. That's why they have the... You know what they should do?
Just do it from 9 to 11 and then have the second hour be more edgy.
I think that the third hour of Raw should change, not from like a pure wrestling show. Like it should be a 2-hour like wrestling product for like the fans that are there. But the third hour should be literally just for television. It should be something like a Talking Smack or something like that for just the TV people. And that's something that people, that are on the arena that, Talking Smack's going to start on YouTube. You might as well start watching it now.
Or like they could do like...
Or if they're really that bored and stuff like that, they'll just stay in the arena and they can watch it on the screens or something like that.
Or like do like the dark matches they do after the show and just have them, have them be on TV and be like, if people want to stick around, they can. But if not,
They're not obligated to stay. Exactly. That's what I mean. I think that's what the third hour of Raw should be.
Or the third hour of Raw could be 205 Live.
Yeah.
Or the third hour of Raw could just be Lars Sullivan cutting promos for an hour.
Nah.
Third hour of Raw should just be a camera following R-Truth to see how long he can go without leaving the arena after getting changed from his wrestling gear into his normal gear.
The 24/7 hour.
Oh, okay. I like that.
It's like, and now an hour of the Firefly Funhouse. Yes. It's nursery.
But it's a live show at the middle of the arena, and it's set up just like that.
Here is an hour of nursery rhymes with Bray Wyatt. Good. Great. I'm signing it up.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
Mary had a little lamb. Oh, God. What'd you do to the lamb, Bray?
Just to quickly go back to All In, All Out. There's only one match.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
But you can even
Page
predict
and Jericho
some of the
match.
other matches on the card, which is exciting. Moxley versus Omega. Fuck.
Way to predict them all out.
Match, CJ. Don't worry, they'll each be an hour.
Well, only
long.
one belt has been announced. Do you think between the next couple pay-per-views we'll start seeing like a women's belt, a tag belt, and a quote-unquote TV belt or whatever their
Fight for
version?
the Fallen, I expect a tag belt and a women's belt to be announced. By Fight for the Fallen.
All right. Okay, bye Fight. Okay, bye Fight for the Fallen.
I expect them to be announced, one of the two, if not both.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't see it rushing all the way because I feel like they already have established tag teams, so I can see them doing that first. So you have SoCal Uncensored, Strong Hearts, Best Friends, Young Bucks, Rhodes Brothers. Super Smash
Well,
Brothers.
is the Rhodes Brothers an official tag team? Yeah,
I
like
would
I
say
understand
that
like
they
the
could-
next one that they're gonna be wrestling, but
if you're gonna put a tag team division together, it wouldn't hurt to have that as a backup. Just to throw it in there because they could also go split on their own, but they could also come together when they need to. As for the women, you still have to establish them. Britt Baker, Kylie Ray, Awesome Kong, Brandy Rhodes, Allie, and the fuck's her name, Nyla Rose. So those are 6, that are really established. But you still have establishing to do with all the rest of the women.
Yeah, because a lot of the women you had in the last show are from New Japan.
Exactly, but you can build those girls up. You can build them up over time. I would like to see Riho to take on Kylie Ray, or Yuka Sakazaki taking on Britt Baker, or fucking Aja Kong versus Nyla Rose.
Aja Kong versus Awesome Kong.
Aja Kong and Awesome Kong taking on Kylie Ray and fucking Riho.
is there gonna be a possibility that Brandy would get involved in like the wrestling part
Brandy
as well? I understand.
has a match coming up at Fight for the Fallen against Allie.
All right.
Either that or Fighter Fest, one of the two. I'm not sure which one, but
I will
they
look it
do
up.
have a match coming up. I think it is Fight for the Fallen, but Brandy's already getting involved. And I like how they're doing the EVP thing because they're just treating them like wrestlers. Like we know that they're high importance and stuff, but I think they're gonna keep that balancing act, and I think they'll never leverage the EVP power in storyline.
Plus, I think if there's anyone that's gonna be less involved, I think Brandy would probably be the least involved. Because I think Young Bucks, Omega, and Cody are gonna be all like heavily involved.
No, I understand that, and yes, you are correct. It was that Fight for the Fallen.
Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah, along with Kenny versus Sema.
Kenny versus Shima.
Shima. Yeah, that's been announced for Fight for the Fallen.
Okay, it's
And
Shima.
Shima.
Yes.
Okay. And the tag team match between the Bucks and the Rhodes brothers.
Yeah, and then there's also what was it? I could see
Those are the official ones based on Wikipedia, so that's always subject to change.
Fight for the Fallen. You have Michael Nakazawa versus the CEO of the gaming industry or whatever. You have the 6-man tag Lucha Brothers and a mystery partner versus Kenny and the Young Bucks. Cody versus Darby Allin. That's pretty much all I can think of. Joey Janela versus Jon Moxley. Then there's that one for Fighter Fest.
So what is it? Fighter Fest.
Fighter Fest.
Yeah. Fighter Fest. Sorry. We have Moxley versus Janela, the Elite versus the Lucha Bros, and a to be determined.
Yeah.
And then Cody
Yeah.
and Darby
Yes.
and Jebli. Jebail L blah, Jebailey
Okay.
Jabali?
Jabil. Yeah, that's what I don't know. Versus Michael Nakazawa.
Yes, that's the CEO guy. He's actually pretty funny because like the guy you just see him like doing like 5-pound weights next to Matt Jackson who's lifting like 45 curls, and he's just like saying Michael Nakazawa, and Matt Jackson just goes, yeah, Michael Nakazawa. So I'm excited for that because that's supposed to be like an actual hardcore match. I think I could be wrong, but going back to the original point, August 31st is going to be huge to try and see where everyone stands. Because NXT UK has something similar to AEW where they're still trying to establish themselves. But
Yeah, if we could get like a baseline of like what fans are going to be drawn to what, then yeah, I agree with you on
I
that.
would love to see a regular NXT takeover in that slot because that would give you an actual barometer of who's going to go where. But
that's
I think
what I'm thinking,
I think we'll find out because that's the last one before the one so far that they have announced.
Yes.
That
because I guess the
pay-per-view
NXT
like
takeover-
before their TV deal.
So I guess the NXT takeover will be the week before. Then is that SummerSlam? Then the week before.
SummerSlam's the week before, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Gee, so SummerSlam would be the
Jesus,
20.
there's so much wrestling.
SummerSlam
There's
would
so
be the
much wrestling, guys.
So you also now you have
So much wrestling.
all the way on the 21st and then the 31st, and then you have
August 11th is SummerSlam.
Then you have that's the 11th. Oh wow, that's early. SummerSlam is usually like the third or fourth week in August.
Yeah, I know.
That's really early.
I know.
So TakeOver. So TakeOver Toronto would be August 10th.
August 10th, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I was about to say SummerSlam 10.
How are we gonna do our predictions and stuff like that? Our show is just basically gonna be predictions from after that point.
Well, because we're gonna have to do the same thing we did this week, where we're gonna have to pick TakeOver the show before, like, because it's gonna be the same day. As
But there's
our
gonna be
show.
shows that we can't pick though.
Well, because we're gonna have to do, because we're gonna have to figure out what we want to churn into title defenses.
I would like AEW to start being title defenses.
I would like that too, but we also need to.
It shouldn't be part of the SummerSlam title defense because it won't have it. I think after AEW gets a TV deal and we see consistent
But the thing is,
storytelling,
NXT
then we can put
TakeOver
that
Cardiff is its own thing. It's not
in.
even
Yeah, we're not
NXT
picking TakeOver Cardiff.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, it's for whatever defense SummerSlam is built into, AEW shouldn't be part of that. I think AEW should be built in after it gets the TV deal, and we can get
That
like,
would be
a
good.
consistent basis of storytelling.
And I have a question. TNT, they have a deal with Hulu, right?
I will look that up.
I think so.
I believe so.
Because then All Elite Wrestling will have a Hulu thing too, possibly.
Because what's it called? The NBA has like a huge partnership with Hulu.
I was about to
think
say,
through
if they got
TNT.
the NBA and TNT is on there, then Hulu could also have a partnership with AEW, which would get me back into fucking Hulu, because that's how I'm going to watch All Elite
If it
Wrestling.
wasn't into Hulu.
Hulu's got some good shit. They have all the NXT stuff. They have that and the takeovers, too.
But I also have the network, so
Well, I don't like the network too much.
I'm fine with the network.
I know you are.
Look, I have a list of matches. It's like 8 pages long that I have to watch. The network is very good for that.
Yes, it is. I'm excited. Out of all three of those, though, which one would you be looking forward to the most?
Probably All Out.
Yeah, probably All Out.
Because I feel like
All Out's going to be in Chicago. There's a very slim possibility that we might see a CM Punk sighting at the very least.
he's gonna be like a color commentator now for a small fighter promotion.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but
I mean, listen, if he gets like at least a decent contract where he gets to be some sort of personality for All Out, and also do his commentating on that, just similar to what Mauro Ranallo used to do, that's not bad.
anything's better than being stared into my soul while watching the commentary.
CM
CM
Punk and
Excalibur
Jim Ross.
and Jim Ross.
Yes. Oh my God, that'd be great.
Guys, my diet soda. Yeah, I think All Out only because like UK I'll still watch, but I'm not as heavily interested. Like I'm not as heavily into watching UK as I am regular NXT.
Yeah.
And then New Japan, I barely know as much. So I think All Out would probably be at the top for me. But I think TakeOver UK is still gonna be really good. It's just gonna be like I'm sure it's gonna be Pete Dunne and Walter again.
Well, the thing is, New Japan lost a lot of the stars that would have helped bring in people like casual the more casual of the hardcore fan base, like Young Bucks, Kenny, Shinsuke, AJ. They lost a lot of mainstream people, but in return they also got Chris Jericho. They got Jon Moxley. So that'd be interesting though, because they would probably lean on that for the European tour, like people like Jericho and Moxley. What if Moxley shows up at All Out with the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship?
It's possible.
That'd be cool. I'd like that. That's all I got.
Let's all remind you that Shinsuke Nakamura won the Royal Rumble just last year.
So did Asuka.
Yep. And both of them lost their matches at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but if you're a power couple, you win. Becky Seth.
But I think you were talking about that WrestleMania, Mike. But AJ and Charlotte were not a power couple.
They easily could have been.
That's Charlotte and Andrade.
Yeah. But let's look where Andrade is compared to Charlotte.
It confused the hell out of me. I forgot they were in Saudi for a second because Andrade came out. Where the fuck is Zelina Vega? I go, oh yeah, right.
Oh.
Okay, so I actually, sorry to interject, but I did look up some stuff for TNT on streaming services.
Yes.
And surprisingly enough, we're actually both right.
Who's both?
You and me, because you talked about a TV deal. I talked about streaming service, and apparently, you could potentially watch AEW on Hulu. Potentially.
Yeah, I just said that.
No, I know. And
Yeah.
Yeah, but they might do something with they do with WWE where they cut some stuff out.
It depends on if it's the two. Well, the thing is, they have a
but
bloody
Hulu
stuff.
has a live package, which is about $45 a month, which includes the live streaming. So you could potentially watch the full live thing on Hulu for $50.
Hey, the streaming's great, and I told you that. They just need the TV deal more than a streaming thing.
Well, they have a backing of a
if they have
syndicated,
both, then that's
a
perfect.
syndicated network channel. So yeah, they technically have both.
They,
So-
they have the best of both
Victory.
worlds.
Because I don't have to pay the
Both worlds.
$50 a month for TNT. It's already in my
but it
cable
is also
package.
it's also not the only one. Sling TV has it.
I refuse
Something called
Sling.
Fubo. PlayStation Vue has it though, which is interesting.
Well, how much is PlayStation View?
It's the same thing, $49.99.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
50
live too,
channels.
right?
That includes. Hold on, I'm looking.
Yeah, but apparently, I tried. You get like a free trial with I think PlayStation VR. I
well,
haven't used mine
well,
yet.
let's just look at it this way. All Elite now has a lot of different access now compared to like a startup promotion 20 years ago. So that's
True.
pretty cool.
So it's better than Ring of Honor and New Japan. That's for sure.
It's better than the access like Herb Abrams UWF had.
Listen, another big turning point is the potential merger between Ring of Honor and honestly New Japan.
They need to.
They need to in order to compete.
Yeah,
because their rosters have gotten gutted.
Well, not even that. It's just the fact of like once more viewership goes to AEW, which, judging by how many streaming services is going to be on and the full backing of a syndicated network channel like TNT, TBS, yeah, they're going to have to.
Do you think ROH and New Japan together would have enough juice to get their own TV deal?
I think so, because you have to look at it this way between how they're getting their TV. So Ring of Honor, I think, for the American general audience, has a pretty decent, even though I don't like the company that they're with. They're on Sinclair Broadcasting. It's a big local broadcasting station that's in the United States. It's the biggest one. So that's not too bad.
But I never find it.
Yeah, because here in New York it's hard to find, but out in the regular rest of the part of the country it's pretty easy. But this is where New Japan comes in. New Japan has access. Access is here in New York. And
did they sell out for that Supercard?
Yes,
I believe so.
At the
Yeah.
Garden they did.
but I think they sold out prior to the Young Bucks, Kenny, and Cody not being on the card.
And it's not like it was bad too, so it's not.
But
so,
they need to replicate it, and that was the big thing. That's great for a first fucking time ever, but can they replicate it now knowing that everyone else, knowing that All Elite Wrestling exists?
Well, the problem you're going to have with Ring of Honor is that at least as far as the national TV deals go, you have two huge ones now that are gone. You have Fox is gone, and now you have Turner Broadcasting is gone.
Fox, Turner, and Universal is done.
Yeah. So
this is where the other part of like the New Japan stuff. One of the backers for Access is Mark Cuban, who's arguably one of the wealthiest people in the whole country.
And
so
took a solid table bump from Sheamus.
So, so it's possible that if Mark Cuban has his way and wants to talk about a real deal, he could talk to someone who's in one of like the bigger networks
but
or one of the big.
Who's the only? What would be a good station then for that?
I guess.
I mean, if they get
CBS company is I guess the only one left that hasn't touched wrestling.
CBS,
NBC is too attached to
Universal.
USA.
Yeah.
Then you have Fox is gone.
unless you get ABC and get a Disney
or
deal.
No,
ESPN.
no,
Yeah.
they're not gonna get a ESPN.
Well, if they get into bed with Disney, they could potentially be on ESPN.
What the fuck does Disney have to do with? All right, this is
Disney
getting off
owns
topic.
ESPN.
This is getting off topic. Let's talk about.
Well, because ESPN's kinda in with WWE, kinda not really.
Well, that's another interesting thing.
Because
One of the pre-show commentators who works for ESPN is no longer being used for their pre-show commentary anymore.
Oh, Pete Rosenberg.
Yes.
Because ESPN is like they kind of just recognize WWE as a thing. I think the last year.
I mean, they've recognized all of wrestling in like the past year.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's possible. That's something to at least think about. That's kind of the point we're kind of getting to.
They're gonna get Cartoon Network.
Nickelodeon.
Oh, man! I just thought of an interesting idea for All Elite Wrestling to have a kids TV show, just back in the day the WWF did.
Like Slam City. No Slam City.
No, we're not doing that.
No, but doing an Adult
Saturday
Swim.
Morning Slam. I remember that.
No,
one.
do an Adult Swim show, and it's literally just Cody and the Bucks just cursing all the time.
It was like TVG. It's Saturday Morning Slam. It was like the weakest wrestling you've ever seen. It was weird.
All right.
That's your homework assignment for this week. Go home on YouTube, look up Saturday Morning Slam.
We all have homework because I have to fucking watch so much wrestling at some point.
Watch Double or Nothing.
You still haven't watched Double or Nothing?
No, I haven't.
CJ, you need to watch the rest of TakeOver.
I'm getting to that.
I'm the only one. My next thing is finishing off. Tried to watch both 2018 Royal Rumbles on the same day. It did not go well.
That sounds like a horrible thing to
I'm
do.
like 22 into the women's one. I got through the men's one, but the women's I got like entrance.
We did that
22.
live.
Oh yeah, we did do that live. We're good with live
We're good.
stuff.
We're good with live ones.
We just actually have to sit down and do the live thing.
But that's the thing. If you watch
yeah.
it live, it's completely different feel.
I mean, yeah, I did it live too the last 2 years. With
I was about to
both
say,
the men's
he's
and
really
women's
good with
Rumbles.
that. Next time, let's just crash at your house and watch all the live stuff.
What?
All right, let's end the show.
Until next time, Audio Marks.
Thank you, everyone, for staying tuned to our podcast. Special shout out to the Sachem Public Library for the continued use of their equipment and space. Continue supporting us by rating and subscribing through Patreon, Audio Boom, Stitcher, TuneIn, Castbox, Deezer, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, and the Big Three, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts at Marks for Life Podcast. Also, check out our YouTube channel, Marks for Life, for our podcast playlist and other content. Please follow us on our social media on Twitter at Marks for Life Pod, Instagram at Marks for Life Podcast, our Tumblr page, Marks for Life Podcast, and our Facebook page, Marks for Life Podcast. And email us at marksforlifepodcast@gmail.com for any comments, questions, or feedback. Until next time, Audio Marks.